Hello boys and girls, and welcome back to another Gemini Scale Model Works video. This is going to be part 2 to part 3, I am not sure. It's just going to be a follow-up to the next video for the 64 Chevelle and the 67 Chevelle. Before we get into that, I question a lot of stuff that I see on these builds, only because I worked on cars for all my life, so I am kind of interested on how things work on these different models. So as I'm putting this one together, and I mentioned in my last video that there is no heater hoses, there's no radiator hoses, there's no radiator. Well, I started to question why there was no battery. And come to find out, after thinking about this and watching videos from way back in the day, that they started these cars with a thing on the electric motor that goes on the front of the blower, and that's how they start these cars. So I do not need the starter wires. And yeah, basically that's it. This engine is complete. Now, the other thing I did notice that in the instructions right here, it says fuel pump end, and that is, I don't have something to point with, and maybe yeah, and that goes right there. So I did some research, and I found out that on the 1-to-1 cars, the fuel pump goes right in that space right there. So I tried to see if there was one available in a 3D print. There is none available, so we'll have to leave that open. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and cut these wires off since I'm not going to need them. And I am going to unveil the color that I chose for this car. So, that being said, let's get this set up so I can show you the color. We'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm not afraid to admit that I'm not very savvy on this kind of racing stuff. So, like I said, this was the first car I ever did with a Magneto, and I was curious on how a Magneto worked because I didn't see any coil wire or some kind of a electronic box or anything like that. So, after figuring out about the starter situation, I finally figured out how the whole thing works. So when they put the starter on the front of this dealie to spin the engine up, at the same time the magnetos create electricity, and when it creates electricity, it stores it up and then fires it into the spark plugs via a capacitor. Anyhow, now that I have that straight, I understand how it works. I am thrilled about this. So, that being said, let me show you what I did here for the color. First of all, I used this Mr. Finishing Surface Gray 1500, and it's a gray, medium gray, as you can see the cap. I also used Mr. Color Leveling Thinner, and the color I chose, and Ed over at One Team Garage, I know he just got a bottle of this paint, but from a different company. But Ed, if you're watching this, you are going to love this color. I'll tell you that right now. The color I chose is an MCW product, and it's called Root Beer. Now, this color has only been on the car for less than 12 hours. So when I show it to you, it has not been touched as far as wet sand or anything other than just the paint on the body. So, with all that being said, I think I'm going to do a grand entry. Hang on a minute, I'll be right back. Okay, boys and girls, we are back. And of course, this is the 64 Chevelle, or Malibu, whatever you want to call it in that particular year. Anyhow, this is what the paint looks like, and it has not been touched yet. So here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Bada boom! What do you guys think about that? Isn't that pretty? Woo-wee! Look at all of that metal flake in the roof. Look at that. On the trunk deck. On the hood. Looks beautiful. Beautiful. Ed, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Whatever car you paint in this color, I know it's going to look fantastic. So, now that's done. This is less than 12 hours on the paint on this. It's dry to the touch, but when I rub my hand on it, it's not smooth. I can feel it grabbing my finger. So that's telling me that it's still gassing out. I'm going to give this another day or so before I actually hit it with anything, any kind of sandpaper or product or whatever. I'm liking the color. The color is really, really nice. Anyhow, that's enough on that. So we're going to go ahead and continue on building the interiors for the 67 and the 64. And we'll be pretty much complete on that. Now, I'm going to do seat belts on this car also, but I'm going to make a little change to them, and I'll show you that as we get on to the seat belts. Talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Alright guys, welcome back to the bench, and I hope you like the color that I chose. I think it looks really good. It's just about 24 hours now. I'm going to wait till the end of today. Today is the 20th of August. And it's about 4 a.m. So I'm going to wait till the end of the day before I even touch this car with any kind of sandpaper or compound or whatever. Anyhow, what we're going to do today is we're going to do the interior on both of these cars. But before I do that, I want to show you that I had told you guys, I got to hold the engine because it's not glued in. Told you guys I was going to put these radius arms on here, and I did, as you can see. And that makes the car look a whole bunch better. This car, this 64 Chevelle funny car, really lacks a lot of stuff. I mean, there's no master cylinder. I know it's a race car, but it should still have a master cylinder. You got to stop the car, right? The interior is very bland, very ugly. Yeah, and so that's why these kits go together so quick, because there's not very many parts. Anyhow, I painted the seat, and the seat is painted in Magneto black. I kind of like that color. It's like a greenish tint to it. I'm going to go ahead and paint the interior bucket and the instrument cluster. The instrument cluster is pretty bare also. It's just a race car. It's just 3 gauges, and that's it, period. So we'll do that. And then the steering wheel. And then we'll bring this guy over, and we will bring this guy over, and then we'll put some of the extra stuff out here. Now, the difference on the 67 is it gives you a nice firewall to put together. And it also already gives you the holes for heater hoses and such. Heater, blower motor assembly, power brake booster, and the master cylinder. So this car, by far, is a little bit better than this car. So, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff together. Let me see, hold on a second. The dashboard on this one, I just added a little bit of silver in there, as you can see. And the pedals, I have repainted the pedals to rubber black. So, with all that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and put these cars together. These cars are almost finished, guys. So I might even throw a third car into this group build. I'm not sure yet. Anyhow, with all that being said, let me get going on this, and I'll bring you back in a little bit. Okay, boys and girls, let's go over the interior on the 64 Chevelle slash Malibu. I don't know if they called it a Chevelle back then. I don't remember. Anyhow, the engine's in there, but it's not glued, just to give you guys an idea of how it's going to look. I do have questions. Once I put the body back on here, I'm going to ask you questions about the body and how it's supposed to look. Anyhow, like I mentioned, this kit lacks a lot of stuff. I would have preferred if there was a full roll cage in there, since this is a funny car. They call it a funny car. I was told by one of my subscribers, a very good friend of mine, that these type of leaf springs didn't require radius arms. And that might be true. I don't know because I don't know these cars that well. But anyhow, I did install radius arms on here. I think it makes it look a lot better. And also, I got some different wheelie bars coming from this because the ones they give you are a joke, really. Anyhow, I still need to work more on the tires and wheels to make them fit better around the beads. Now, this is a Recaro seat that's going to be going in here. And it'll get seat belts, as I have shown in one of my other videos. Okay, so I'm just going to take this out of here because I know it's just going to fall out. The shifter, I painted with that Rust-Oleum metallic paint. The same thing with the dashboard. Down in the bottom here, the top is flat black. Steering wheel is flat black. I did the gauges in white. I think I should have done it in black and then do the Mod Podge. And I can't even see the Mod Podge on there that I did put. Anyhow, stuff I need to work on. Okay, so now let me put the body on this thing. I like one thing about this body, it just slides right on with no problem. Okay, now I know this kit came with an altered chassis, and that's okay because I never did an altered chassis. But let me back this camera out. Okay, flip this over. The engine's probably gonna fall out. Okay, it's not gonna fall. Is there supposed to be that much space there? I mean, I know it says altered body, altered chassis, but I never built one of these, so I don't know. And, you know, every time I watch someone's videos or watch something one-to-one, I learn a lot. So, anyhow, the next question I have, again, because I don't know the type of racing car this is, they said it's a funny car. Is there supposed to be no inner fenders on this? Or is that just something they omitted in this kit? Anyhow, that's enough on this car. Let's go to the other car. And we'll get on to a mock-up view of both cars. And by the way, I painted the interior with this AF15, and it's tan, United States Air Force tan. I think it was a good color to offset the root beer color. Alright, let's put you on the side now there, buddy. Now this one was a pain to get this body on here, so I'm going to go off camera to get it off, get the body off, and we'll go over the interior on this car. We'll be right back. Okay, boys and girls, now we're looking at the 67 Chevelle interior. Again, it's basic, it's just a race car, so it's not going to get very much detail, but I did paint the silver on the instrument cluster. I did the steering wheel spokes with some silver. Again, another Recaro seat I put in there. On the roll cage, I painted this black up there, sort of like a foam rubber or whatever. Oops, finally fell out. Cool. The drive shaft. Steering wheel, semi-gloss black with the spokes, the same silver as what I did up in here. A lot more detail. This got a full roll cage, nice firewall. I think I showed that the other day. The underneath, now the 64 is going to get wheelie bars similar to these. Only because what they give you is like really a joke, and I'll show you that when we continue to build on that car. Anyhow, it's looking good so far, and like I said, I still have 2 months to finish this, so I just might, don't hold me to this, I just might add a third build to this group build, and that'll be my 66 Chevelle, my favorite one, other than my 69 that I had. But anyhow, yeah, so let's continue on. I'll put these together and put them on a turntable and give you a roundabout with it, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye for now. Okay, boys and girls, as you can see, we are now down at the bench, and I have both models in a pre-mock-up stage, I guess you would call it. It's not totally mocked up just yet. We'll give you a little spin around here, and as you can see, the engine compartment on the 67, it needs to get all hooked up to the car and all that stuff. Master cylinder brakes, master cylinders there, the heater hoses are there, so on and so forth. This car, however, is very, very blank in the engine compartment. I mean, there's nothing there. I'll have to see if I can get at least a brake, master cylinder, and power booster to put on this, because, like I mentioned earlier, the car has to have brakes to stop. Anyhow, we'll keep going around. It seems that Ralphie, he's giving his version of a thumbs up on this. The paint has not been touched on either car. And this actually on camera looks more blue than purple to me. I don't know, that's my eyeballs or whatever. But anyhow, this will be the last video in this series, because I still have 2 months to finish this. And we're going to get back on the Street Machines group build and show you the progress I've been making on there. So the next couple of videos will be on the Street Machines group build. Anyhow, with all of that being said, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video, and as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. Gemini Scale Model Works out for now. Bye.